So before I introduce our panel, I just wanted to say a few words about why personally I am absolutely stoked that we've put together this event for Labour Party conference, given that this was an idea I kind of had when I went to a networking event back in February and had a kind of conversation with Annalise Dodds about this, and she said, yeah, we really need to do something about women in business in the Labour Party. So here we are. It may not have escaped your attention that I am a woman. I'm also a small business owner, and as a Labour Party activist and someone who has come to conference several years now and attended events with John McDonnell and the FSB about Labour Party support for small businesses, I know that the Labour Party understands that SMEs, small businesses, are kind of the backbone of our economy, and that we may be small, but to grab a phrase you may have seen around, we are many. So it's only right that the Labour Party, we do support small business, and that's a large part of what we do, and it's always been a bit of a frustration of mine that we're not louder and prouder about those policies that we've got that support small businesses, because it's always a big shock if I'm going around canvassing and you've heard it, Labour Party is anti-business, Labour Party doesn't understand business, and I can stand there and say, well, did you know we've got these policies? Did you know that we've got policies, for example, on late payments? Policies about levelling taxation to help small businesses against the likes of Amazon and so on, who you all know are dodging their taxes and playing the system. So I know that the Labour Party is a fantastic party for supporting growth of business, and so that's one reason why I wanted to have an event that specifically talked about policy about small business. And then, of course, there is the women aspect to that. Now, since the economic crash, we have seen a major rise in the number of self-employed women. Where they've come from, whether they want to be self-employed, that's difficult, and I'm sure our panellists will have opinions about that. But what's not happening is women having the courage and starting up their own business. So with small businesses that are employers, only 19% of those in 2017 were run by women, and that number is not going up, it's stagnant. So we obviously have this big problem of women who are having to take on their own careers and go for it by themselves, but for some reason they're not setting up those small businesses. And I am a bit fed up of going to business networking events where the women who are there are more likely to be there to serve drinks than they are to take part in the networking, and that happens all the time. If you're a woman in business, you've been to events like that. So yeah, I am personally extremely proud that in a few months we've managed to put this together, that we're chairing this panel on this, and we have, I think, an amazing panel for you to talk about this problem. So if I start with Seema, who is, obviously you're an MP, but as founder and president of the Fabian Women's Network. So I think we'll start with Seema and talking about sort of issues around women. Then we have Ruby. So Ruby Peacock, you are Deputy Head of Public Affairs at the Federation of Small Businesses. If you have never been on the FSB website, put that down as homework. There is an awful lot of really good research out there about small businesses and how how we can have policies that support the growth of small businesses, covering everything from green economy through women's issues and all sorts of different policy areas in there. And personally, I find it really exciting to read that website and go, well, yeah, those are our policies and those are our policies. And as an activist, it gives me a bit more confidence to go out and talk about what we're doing, because we're obviously on the right lines. Then we'll be hearing from Jane. So Jane, you're a freelance researcher looking at employment, access into work, and also another Fabian woman. So we'll look forward to hearing about how do you take these kind of ideas and put them into some actual policies that we can all stand behind. And then, last but not least, we have Bill, who is giving me evils at the moment, because I'm really grateful that you've come to speak on this. As women in this room that I can see who have campaigned against all-male panels, this was nearly an all-female panel, so it's nice to have a token man. But what
well, Liz, my wife couldn't be here, or she would have.
But you know what?
As a woman in business.
Yeah, what a token man, Shadow Minister for Small Business. So all of those policies that I spout about on the doorstep, that's all thanks to Bill. So that's our panel. So, shall we start, Seema?